The following program was paid for by Southern American Media. Fox 30 WGBC invites you to the talk of all the towns in East Mississippi and West Alabama. Welcome to Mornings with Scotty Ray and Candace.
And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. This is Candace, and we're off to a Tuesday morning.
Yes, I hope y'all are having a wonderful morning so far. Had your coffee?
Bunch of it, because it's a busy morning. I wouldn't want to be an emergency official in the area right now because they're everywhere.
I know. Busy morning in Meridian.
So much going on, and as you're waking up, as we were live just a little bit ago at 6:30, we got a report as we were on the air that something had happened out at Dalewood. We didn't know what. Now, I don't want to alarm anybody. We're just getting this as we speak this morning of the information, but a Jeep was found turned over in the lake. And let's go to this and show some pictures. Let me get this pulled up. No one has been located. I want to say that at first, but a light pole and a bunch of things have been clipped as we pull this up to show everyone. This is the scene that we're looking at Dalewood right now. As we come across this, they are pulling a Jeep from this area right here. Here's the Jeep that has been found.
Now, did somebody just come up on this and
Apparently,
saw it? Yeah.
as information, this is the way it looked when emergency officials arrived on the scene this morning. They have divers there. The emergency response team from the Lauderdale Volunteer Fire Department are there working the scene. And again, they have found no one. Hopefully, the accident happened. They walked away and went somewhere, and they just forgot to call somebody.
Yeah.
Pretty big incident. But we do hope everything is fine. We'll keep you posted on this as the morning progresses, and we keep checking back in with Dalewood. Serious incident there.
That is. That's scary.
EMEPA has been
up on
called
and
to
see.
replace that pole that you saw damaged.
Right.
Didn't feel good either way when they
I'm
hit
sure
that.
not. That looked like it would have been a hard hit.
Now, I asked before daylight, and I've done this just a quick back and forth. I've been asked a lot lately about the accident that happened on Highway 19 South of the motorcycle.
Right.
Were there charges? And all I know at this point, there have been no charges filed against anyone in that accident. I did get that answered this morning. I'll talk to the police department a little bit more in a little while as daylight breaks and we get more questions answered.
Right.
So, and that's just one of the things happening this morning. Let's go to I-20 this morning. As if you're heading east, this is the situation, and this could be loud for just a moment, but let's show this. This is the scene on I-20 East. They're diverting traffic at York, Alabama. There's a wreck there in between there and Livingston.
Okay.
Huge pileup of some sort. We don't know how serious it is. We just know that there is a wreck there.
So there might be some people late for work if they're coming from there to Meridian.
Correct. So keep in
be
mind.
extra careful, though.
Now, if you're a truck driver, and this seems to be the place for accidents, you almost wish the railroad would go build a new bridge just a teeny bit taller. And this old boy that's out there this morning also thinks that. He's like first line going, we all make the bridge taller.
Right.
Because let's go take a look at this little incident that we've got on Highway 80 this morning. Emergency officials are on the scene now. Let's pull this up where you can see this. This is Highway 80. As we pull this up.
Just rolled the whole top back?
Yeah. Now, I don't know if there's chemicals involved. We did get a report that something's in the road.
Okay.
We don't know what, but the officials are en route, probably already on scene since I last spoke to them this morning, trying to determine what's going on there. We'll get updates as the show goes on, I'm sure.
Okay. Yes.
So,
I mean, that's been happening a good bit lately.
yeah,
People clipping the tops of their trucks going under the. I mean, are they making the trucks taller now, or?
that bridge was built before
Right.
Trucks were probably that tall. If you
It
go
might
back, it's
need to
been there a
be
while.
Updated, yeah, definitely.
I had some folks watching earlier that I meant to say hello to from Columbus. We've got folks watching from Gulfport, Carthage, and Pensacola, Florida this morning. We appreciate all those.
Oh yeah, we got Lily Hampton watching from Kemper County. James Carter, Winnie Bartley. Good morning to y'all. Don Carney. I hope y'all are having a great morning.
Ooh, Benville checking in. Patricia, how are you doing? Out at Battlefield, we got folks.
Jeannie McKay's watching from Philadelphia, Mississippi.
Well, the list just keeps going on.
Daniel and Beverly Pilgrim. We have Bill Reinhart from DeKalb. Yeah. Laura Afino, Shirley Sharp, Don Carney, I've already mentioned him, Cindy Lee, and he's from Indiantown, Florida, Don Carney.
Yeah, that's
Glad
a
to
good
have
ways
you
off.
watching. Yeah.
See, Patsy Gilbert watching us from Clark County.
Tom Frazier is from Gulf Shores down there. He's watching.
Gulfport, Beth Moore watching today, and the list goes on and on.
Yes,
Folks that are
yes.
tuning in today, we do appreciate y'all, each and every one of y'all.
We sure do.
Now, we've had a busy night. There's without a doubt of things that have gone into the community, and these are just a few of what we've mentioned that are happening live this morning in the Meridian area as we start here. Let's start and talk about, let's see. Yeah, let's go to the robbery last night as criminals take things that, well, they want to make their own. This happened at 9:30 last night. And let's zoom in on this picture of the map where you can tell exactly. I brought this up earlier. This is Highway 19. Right here is Tractor Supply. Here's the red light, North Hill Street. It's going to be, I think, a Dollar General down here.
Right.
But the Exxon station right here.
Right next to Sonic. Yeah, I had got word last night that the lights were all out, and, that wasn't normal for
No.
that time of night. And so they were wondering if maybe it had gotten robbed, and guess what?
That's what happened. A tall black fellow walked in with a gun and robbed the place. The clerk really couldn't give a lot. You have to really think on this. If you're there and somebody pulls a gun on you, it does mess up your thinking.
Yeah.
You're thinking, am I going to get shot?
Well, wasn't it years ago that the station right next door, somebody was shot?
I
The
think
clerk,
so.
And yeah, that's a scary thing. I mean, somebody walks in with a gun, and
You kinda
especially
lose-
these clerks that are there by themselves.
You lose bearings of what's going
Right.
on.
Yeah.
She couldn't identify the car that they were in, or if they were in a car. She just knows they came in. It was a tall black male that left the scene. Most likely had a hood on. That's pretty common. We don't know that part. Meridian Police Department is investigating it. And again, it happened at 9:30 last night. Whew.
Wouldn't it be nice if each one of these service stations had a security guard at night, at least?
It would be.
Just
And-
to have another person there and somebody kind of watching cameras, kind of be on alert. I don't know.
And I know this goes a step further, but in budgets of building, it's going to have to eventually become to where the clerk is encased in glass, bulletproof glass, to where they cannot be reached by who enters the store. And I even suggest, I've heard of this, to where you have a push button to where the doors are locked and no one can escape when
Yeah.
that happens. They're locked in until police arrive.
Right. I've seen that on a video. I think it was somebody entered a nail salon or something one time and thought they were going to rob it. It was something like that. They locked him in there, and he was panicking.
Yeah, I would
They
think so.
locked him in there and ran out the back door, and that guy, I thought he was going to break the door down and try to get out, but
But the bulletproof glass, and you used to see that only in California, but it is getting to where it is really going to be needed here,
Yeah.
to where that clerk cannot be harmed, because there's absolutely nothing in a convenience store that's worth someone's life.
definitely not. Yeah.
This is the third armed robbery we've had in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, because there was wasn't it 2 armed robberies?
Yes.
Back to back almost.
Yeah,
a week
one.
ago.
Yeah, 2 nights in a row. This makes the third. Fortunately, now I think this is a different setup because our last 2 robberies that were armed robbery, most likely with the 4 suspects that's been cutting the power, our Newport Power Bandits. They're responsible for this. This was a lone person last night. This is as times get harder, the braver people get.
Yeah.
Does that?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I think people get more desperate as times get harder too.
And as at first, the 4 that we were talking about that done the other armed robberies were only doing it after stores closed. Well, I guess they figured out that just getting cigarettes isn't enough, and they want more cash. Is
Yeah.
probably why they've switched to doing it while the stores are open.
I'm gonna tell you though, people are so sick of this mess. Especially I've heard so many people talking about locally. They're so sick of it. You remember the elderly man in that store that we saw on the news that blew the guy's arm off?
Yes.
Almost blew it off, and he goes running out. I mean, he didn't give him a second. He pulled out his shotgun and retaliated. I mean, this is going to start happening. So, if you want to break in and steal $100 and risk losing your life because you go in there with a gun,
That's
keep
right.
on. because, I mean, it's a matter of time. So people are sick of it.
Now, as and people just drawing a line here.
Yeah, they are. They're drawing a line because, I mean, law enforcement's hands are tied because they only have so many people to respond.
Well, this happened in Jones County in the last night or so. Somebody broke into a house. Now, it wasn't anybody. They shot the perpetrator. Is that the word? I always want to use that word, perpetrator. He broke up in the house, and they shot him, hit him in the arm. He was rushed to an emergency room. As soon as he got all doctored up, they took him on to jail. Right. But people don't want that. Other things that happened last night. People were out with guns. Yeah, we're going to tell you where some gunshots were heard last night in our area, what the locations were, and where you live in relation to all of this. Up and coming with Scotty Ray and Candace as we begin your day. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. As the days get hotter, Sanders Gas reminds you to get your air conditioner tuned up. Sanders Gas can repair or replace your whole unit, whichever you need. Talk to Sanders about a tankless water heater now and never run out of hot water. Find out how easy and affordable it is to cook on gas stoves. And those backyard barbecues are coming. Don't run out of gas. Get yours refilled today. Sanders Gas, since 1946, 611 26th Avenue South, 601-693-4054. And welcome back, Scotty Ray and Candace. You had somebody watching from where?
Sandra Carrizales, I think that's the way you say her last name. She's been watching before, and we've mentioned her. Good morning. Hope you're doing great. But she's from Illinois.
Now,
watching from Illinois.
3, 4, no, maybe it's been longer than that. I was in a little town, and they claimed that the little town there in Illinois, where I was Sparta, Illinois, which was kind of the town that was based upon Sparta, Mississippi, and the heat of the night. I was up there a few years ago. Nice little place. Had a Dairy Queen. Broke all up in there. And real nice folks.
You know, we were talking about the big $1 billion winner of the jackpot.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if they ever found out, because they were supposedly from Illinois, I think, right? Did anybody ever claim that?
After I lost, I really
mention who it was?
Didn't pay attention to where they were from.
Right, I know, yeah.
I was so let down.
Kind of lose interest, I guess, after that. But I'd love to know if they did find out who it was.
If they have any smarts about them, they're
incognito with their hat and glasses.
And their third cousin cannot reach them anymore.
Yeah.
Now, as we mentioned some gunshots last night, let's get into this. This was up Highway 39 is where we go next, where some gunshots were heard last night. And I stress, no one was hit, no one was injured, no damage or anything. It was just, well, we heard something. As we go here, this would be Highway 39 is what we look at here. As we go up here, here's Windmill Drive, and here's Timber Ridge Road. Right in this area, right in here, gunshots were heard. Now, again, I say no one was hurt, no one was injured. One of the first times we've seen or heard gunshots from that area of Meridian. Now, this is increasingly getting worse. I should have already started this, and I will at the beginning of the year to start a fresh year, a map that has every single thing that happens. But we go back to Grandview is where we're going now. Grandview Avenue. Last night, once again, gunshots heard. If you will remember, as we zoom in on this, here's the street view. Right over here is Walmart. This is 33rd. This is where the shootout happened last week with the car that was hit. The guy jumped in a creek. A dog was released, and they tased him.
Yeah.
For having a gun and shooting at people. You just don't do that. But increasingly, I'm hearing more and more gunfire coming from this area right in here. Now, I don't have in front of me who your city councilman is in front of me, but contact them. And I'm going to have all that laid out, and I meant to have already had that in front of us. But I'm sure you're getting concerned if you live in that area. And, you know, this is not far. As you zoom in on this map, let's pull this back up here as we pull in on this. Here's Country Club Drive, 40th. I cut through here all the time.
Yeah.
You come in from North Hills and take this and you cut right over to 39. It's kind of like a cut through a beautiful little neighborhood.
Yeah.
But we are hearing more and more gunfire in that area, and I'm sure that the people that live there are sick of it.
Right, because these people have been there for years. It's a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, run down at all. I mean, there's just people have lived there for years. I don't know. I know they probably feel like their hands are tied too, because, I mean, who wants to just up and move away from their home?
Yeah.
You should feel safe, and you should be able to feel safe anywhere you.
Some folks need to go to jail, I think.
They do.
That's my
Hopefully
determination.
They find
on it.
out who's doing that. Yeah.
Now, I want to say good morning to Dwayne Kelsey watching us from the big city of Louisville this morning. Thank y'all.
Yes.
From Chicago. They were from Chicago, she said.
Said it was a sports player from Illinois. That's what somebody says. Huh.
As we go to our next story, this is the crimes on this, and I've just said it, I almost sound like a broken record on it. Car theft in the Meridian area is all too common. There's always a car being stolen either from a car lot, from an individual's yard, and no longer can you say, oh, it's because they left the keys in there. They're really stepping their game up and busting the steering column and getting in and doing it. They even got hacks now to where they can plug their phone in and crank a car. The Meridian, actually, it was the sheriff's department last night, if I'm understanding right, got in behind a stolen car.
Oh.
Taken from Bowers Auto, from what I understand. And as we pull this up right here in this area here, 23rd and 41st Avenue, Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department threw those blue lights, and what happened? Whoop, 4 people jumped out with guns and ran. And it was a chase, boogie there. I think they outran them.
Should have set the dogs on them again.
I don't think they had one with them. But from what I understand, I don't have all the details. I think they did escape into the night, into the darkness, and get away. Car has been recovered. At least one car has. But you just never know.
Yeah.
So that was...
Did you mention somebody from Delaware?
No, I did not.
Okay. Lisa Rose from Delaware. Good morning.
Now, I don't think I ever been to Delaware.
I have not been to Delaware. I'm not.
That's I think my parents did when I was a kid, but I did not go. Ah, interesting.
I've been to New Jersey. I've been at that,
You didn't want to move or anything?
No, I didn't. That was not a great trip. I was young, had a stepbrother that we fought the whole time. In the back seat, fought the whole time. It was not a good ride.
Do you remember as a kid when it was okay not to wear a seatbelt? And when cars were bigger, had the big windows, and you could lay across the back thing where the speakers are? I used to do that as a kid all the time.
Yeah. My stepdad had an Oldsmobile and had a big long back seat, and you would slide because we didn't have to wear seatbelts then. You would just slide from one side to the other. He kept the seats what do you call it? Armor all.
Had a 455 Rocket. Who remembers the Oldsmobile?
Leather seats.
Yeah.
Plastic leather seat. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As we continue with things that are going on in our neighborhood, we do find out names have been officially released from the Meridian Police Department this morning of the deaths that occurred last week. And we had 2 people murdered in our fair little town. And I meant to ask this. I'm going to talk to the Meridian Police Department again. I said it yesterday. They were busy and tied up, and I didn't get a chance to speak with them. But we're right at 11 or 12 deaths for the year. And as we go to sammedia.net, where we pull this back up, if you'd like to read more about this, DeJohn Huggins was the gentleman that was found murdered in a car on 22nd Avenue, 22nd Street, shot in the car. We go to the next murder victim that happened on State Boulevard. DeMarco Jimerson, 31 years old, was shot and killed on State Boulevard in our fair little town.
Was this the one near the store on State Boulevard right across from the hospital? Wasn't there one there? I thought.
I'd have to pull the map back up and see what it was in relation to, but
yeah.
3400 block, 3400 block.
Okay.
But I'd have to be looking at the map to tell. Is there a store real close to that?
I don't know about the blocks. I just know we reported something happening there, and I want to say that's what it was. But it's okay. We don't have to.
Well, I'm curious now. Yeah. I don't know what all is close to that without looking at a map.
There's a store in that curve right across from East Mississippi State Hospital.
No, that's where a store was robbed.
Okay.
This is totally separate incident
Different
there.
Thing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This is
so much goes on. I get things mixed up. Goodness.
Yeah, that was where the store was broken into there. But if you'll look at this is where the murder happened right here. 37th Street is here. I remember looking at that. It was reported first that shots were heard in here when they were actually about right in here, and this young man made his way down the street and fell into a ditch. And so sad about that.
It is sad. For whatever reason this happened, I don't even know. It's an awful thing. We want to say condolences to their families because that is tragic.
Yeah, we do not know the circumstances on that, and we hope to find out more. And this is an ongoing investigation.
I mean, anytime a life's lost, whatever the case may be, it's just a tragic thing.
It is.
And you know, they have families that mourn their loss. So,
Yes.
And friends. So.
Now, yesterday, I would say that someone got off easy. What? Oh, we're not done with gunfire. What? No, we're not. We had more of this in Meridian yesterday as we go back to sammedia.network to find out, well, shots were fired at Highway Village. And you go, where in the world is Highway Village if you've never heard that? Let's just pop this map up where you can see that. This is Frontage Road here. This would be down right here would be what used to be called the Dixie Gas Station. Of course, it's got a new name now. And
Right.
I don't know the name of it.
Yeah, just right in the fork.
Yeah, that's 5 points is what that is called. Highway Village sits right here on the right. Shots were fired there, and a car was hit yesterday afternoon. Now, and again, we don't know the details of this, of how many people were involved. Off the record, I'm told it was 3 to 4 individuals involved in this with a gun that ran when the shots happened. Still under investigation, and again, don't hold me to that. I do know that shots were fired. No one was hurt, but a car damaged heavily with bullet wounds. That doesn't sound right, does it? Bullet fire? How do you say that?
What?
A car that's been hit.
What do you mean?
As in a car that's hit. It
Okay.
has bullet what?
Bullet holes.
Bullet
I mean,
holes.
Yeah.
I'm working on my terminology.
Yeah. I would just say bullet holes, but, you know, I'm just a little Miss Country over here.
It's
so.
Scotty Ray Rhythms. Scotty, yeah, I'm going to hush before I get into it. I don't know what I'm talking about there. As we also look, now, I got a lot of texts. I was typing something out, and my phone started going ding-a-ling, ling-a-ling-ling. And what was happening? The Meridian Fire Department, rescue, a bunch of Meridian police officers all showed up at Walmart. No, they weren't after donuts. I want to go ahead and just stomp that right out. They went to the rear of the building. Now, as they arrived on there, what was going on? As we found out, people were sending messages from inside the store saying, no one's getting checked out, and the line is going all the way to the back of the store now. Well, it turns out there was a loud pop, and it was an electrical service that popped in some shape, form, or way, and it emitted a little bit of smoke. There was never a fire. It just kind of like, you know, when something electronics pops?
You can smell that.
Yeah.
That electrical.
It's kind of like your wife's
burning.
burnt cornbread. It's a smell you never forget. But everything turned out okay, and that's what it was. And it took a little bit of while to determine what went on there, but all was safe and all was good. But a busy day for the fire department.
I was looking at all the comments yesterday. Everybody had their own idea what it might be, you know, and everybody was just freaking out about it. But yeah, and of course I called Scotty Ray. I'm like, what's going on?
This is what it is, because they were saying, well, there's a bunch of homeless people out there.
Right.
No, it wasn't anything that serious.
Right. Thank goodness it wasn't anything more serious than what it was. So.
Steve McKinnon told us I was trying to think of the word bullet-ridden.
Yeah.
Bullet-ridden car. That's probably the terminology I could not come up with.
Yeah, bullet red.
Now, also, as the afternoon progressed, as we always forecast, today we got a 40% chance of thunderstorms of what's going on out there. But yesterday, you want to talk about a thunderstorm that came up to the southern part of Lauderdale County and in northern Clark County. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was so bad that this old boy here, as we go to Clark County Hot Topics, tells us, well, a tree fell on his car as he was going down the road.
Oh, my goodness.
They had to cut him out from underneath it. He's okay, but look at this rain as it was coming down.
That is bad, yeah.
As you see right there, the roof is caved in where it hit him.
Thank goodness he's okay.
Clark County Sheriff's Department responded. They helped him out there. And I mentioned this earlier this morning when I brought this story up. You just don't realize how many lives are lost across America when trees fall on roadways, whether you either hit it or it actually falls on your car.
And it's bad at night, too. You know, when you can't see a tree until you're right up on it.
I've always been told you can feel ugly. That's all I know about the darkness.
Look, yesterday at the house, though, I mean, up in, like, above Collinsville area, it got a little bit, the wind.
Yes, it
picked
was.
up and it got a little rough. I had to run somewhere real quick, and I come back, and there was some big limbs had fallen out of our trees. And when I left, my husband's on a tractor. And I'm like, oh, gosh, I see lightning in the distance. I'm thinking.
He didn't care. He was time away from you.
No, but to tell... Thank you, Scotty
It
Ray.
was
He is so kind.
Every man has to have a break.
I need y'all to take up for me in the comments.
I'm just telling you how it is. He's thinking, Lord.
I'm picking.
He's like, let me get to the tractor. She's coming home at 5:30.
No, but when he's on that tractor, he has a one-track mind. You're not going to get him off of it until he's done. So
Now we
I just
know.
don't even say anything anymore. Just say a prayer.
Kim Litchfield agrees it's called riddled with bullets.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to work on my thinking there.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Riddled. I was trying to think of that word a while ago, riddled.
Yeah, no matter how hard I strained, it just wasn't coming out. I did try real hard there.
Yeah.
Zero Road, we also had an accident there yesterday. I think a car had a little incident there as we pulled this back up to Sam Media there. Emergency responders came back from Long Creek Volunteer Fire Department, arrived on the scene. Everybody was okay. She was talking as they loaded her, and that's good.
Yeah.
That's a sharp curve there just up from the ball field there, and you come around that curve.
It is. It is very sharp.
You've been around that curve once or twice.
Yeah, I have, going to the hunting camp
Yeah.
many times, and I'm gripping on for dear life over there.
But in the end, I think everybody was okay. Just a scary situation. And
Thank goodness,
streets, as you've talked about, your vehicle slips and slides.
Yes, it's like it'll fishtail, going around curves. Even if you're going slow, you just have to be extra careful. You cannot hit the brake suddenly when it's wet roads.
Bill tells you that he's trying to let you know his tractor's sexy.
Yeah.
Hang in there, Candace. As we go to our next story, we go back to Clark County. This would be Highway 18 West. This could have been more serious than you could imagine as we look at the scene of this accident involving an 18-wheeler and a dump truck. And let's take a look at this. Clark County Hot Topics also loaned us this as we go to this. Look at this wreck. Horrible there. They were transported to the hospital. I think everybody in the end is going to be okay. But that's a serious one. As we take a closer look here at the accident.
That is serious, goodness.
And it looks as though, if you look at this scene here, it looks as though the dump truck sideswiped it. He tried to get off the road, some shape, form. I wasn't with the highway patrol there, but that's just using a guesstimation as to what happened.
Goodness, so much happened yesterday.
Yeah, and today is just starting. Look, we've had 3 events already today.
I know. Goodness.
So,
Let's hope nothing ends in.
as Lonnie says, the dump
news.
truck lost that little game of chicken, and it did.
Yeah.
A few of the things that went on there. Let's see what else went on here. Oh yeah. We didn't talk about our friends in Neshoba County. We got any folks watching from Philadelphia?
I saw this yesterday. I am hung on the microphone. Excuse me.
Excuse me, Mrs. Brady.
Thank you. I'm going to leave today with such self-esteem.
Well, I mean, that's what you look like over there with your. If you would just wear some 70s clothes, we would really pass you off as
Okay,
that.
I'm going to wear my, what do you hate? Because that's what I'm
Oh,
wearing.
those chevron things?
Yeah, chevron. I'm going to put some chevron.
I just, no offense to anybody that's sitting here watching me right now wearing chevron breeches. It just isn't my thing.
Well, I loved it when it first come out. And now since you've been talking about it, and I look at it, I'm like, why? Why did I ever wear that? It looks like a tablecloth.
Yeah, I'm telling you, men don't like it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of y'all think they do, but they don't. They are not checking
It's like
you
a
out because
wallpaper.
they think you look good. They're looking, going, why is she wearing that?
It's just, sometimes it's just too busy looking, the print. Anyway.
But as we go to Neshoba County, we check out what's happened. Whoop, don't grow. This
Mary
is what
Jane.
happened. Mary Jane up in your front yard next to your tomatoes.
That's right. Because it don't blend in. As much as you want it to, it just don't blend in.
Well, they showed up. The Neshoba County Sheriff's Department, Officer Gerald and Trent showed up, and they have taken possession of this and arrested someone. Why? Because it's against the law.
Pulled it up from the roots.
Yep, they got it. No word yet if they're going to have a big burning out back of the Sheriff's Department. What do you
I
do
don't
with
think
that?
that'd be smart. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I don't think that
Inmates may like it. But seriously, what do you do with that stuff after you confiscate
I
it?
don't really know. If you bury it, it might pop on back up again, I would think. I don't know. What do you do?
Ricky Fowles, 67-year-old, has been arrested for that, of having it too close to his tomatoes and within vision of street. And it's just illegal to begin with. Now, I did see some comments where people were going, leave him alone.
Yeah,
It's still against the law.
it is.
The law is the law, and it is what it is. Trenton, Texas, checking in with us there. Get out of here. We mentioned what went on down in Jones County. I want to, coming up, we'll tell you about, we lost someone yesterday, and we'll talk more about that in a minute, and just how touching it is. Good morning to everyone. Luana says they're going to go burn that. But where? I need to ask Eric Clark how they do that.
Yeah, it'd have to be like way away from
Somebody got to do
everybody. I don't know. I mean, I would hate to be standing around.
It's a distinct smell that you will never forget.
It smells like a skunk.
I thought it smelled like dirty socks, but am I wrong?
If it's the same thing that I smell when I walk by people, that smells like a skunk. I don't know. So, just nasty.
She's going to put a stripe on you.
Let's see. I was trying to... Trenton, Texas. We've got Karina Foster Jones watching from Trenton, Texas. Trying to touch base on all the people.
Scott says men's fashions rarely change. I was wearing this in the 80s. Mm-hmm. This could be a shirt from 89.
I think solid colors they never are outdated.
I'm all about solid.
Yeah.
One color fits all. More coming up with Scotty Ray and Candace as we begin your day. Y'all don't rush off. We got so much to talk about. Spring is here, and it's time to quit spending all of your weekend cutting grass when you could step up to a Skag zero-turn mower. Freeman Tractor in Collinsville has the #1 rated zero-turn mower, Skag, with cutting widths from 36 inches to 72 inches. Skag, the #1 choice of professional landscapers because they know nothing outcuts or outlasts a Skag. 0% financing for 48 months with payments starting as low as $129 a month. Stop by Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 and see coleslaw or buttermilk.
The Square Peg Mini Mall, located across from the Neshoba County Co-op in Philadelphia, Mississippi, is a family-owned business that promises to treat you like family. The Square Peg Mini Mall has been operating for over 10 years and boasts over 30 vendors with a rotating inventory to fit that something you're looking for. Inventory is constantly updating, so there's always a chance for a surprise when you step inside. Come visit the Square Peg Mini Mall, located on 335 West Main Street in Philadelphia, Mississippi.
Somebody said Willie Nelson's en route to the Neshoba County Sheriff's Department to help him out up there.
Oh, my goodness.
Some good mornings to me. And we have found a new town in Alabama.
Greg Beard is watching, and I might mess this up, Greg. I'm sorry. Salilpa, Alabama.
Yeah,
I don't say that right. I don't know.
Candace, give me
I've never seen that.
Some geography. Where is that little town at?
It's our next door neighbor, and I've never even...
You've been there?
No. I'm just saying Alabama's next door, to us Mississippians.
Yeah, I'm trying to,
But I've never heard of that town.
Yeah, when I Google it, it don't even come up.
Jeff Dean says he smells more marijuana when he's in the local Walmart than he does anywhere else. Oh. Look, that is one of those distinct smells that you kind of can do without.
I promise you, I'd never smelled it. I went to college and I thought, what is that large aroma coming from down there? Somebody explained to me what it was.
Yeah.
And I think some of them are still doing that.
Yeah. Probably so. There's some people that have not changed.
No, they just kind of get hung in that era. We pass along condolences this morning to Olivia Newton John, who was the sweetheart of the 1978 Grease movie.
That's right. She's 73 years old when she passed yesterday peacefully. Her husband said she passed peacefully at her home in, is it California?
California is where they were.
But she had a 30-year battle with breast cancer. And she's just one of those classic...
She is.
People that you never really heard any kind of bad things about. She kept her nose clean, so to speak, in the spotlight. She just was a down-to-earth, same nice person. I don't know. Just loved her music.
And, of course, this is the picture that so many people remember her from as we go to Daily Mail. That's the picture where her and Danny, so to speak, there. Yeah. She was Miss Clean-Cut Woman. Is that the way to put it there?
Yes. She was just very beautiful,
And here's a picture of her and her husband there. Her daughter is, I think, is the word green, is very on that energy side of life, green. I'll leave it at that.
I don't know. She just seemed like she had a beautiful heart and a beautiful soul. She just seemed like one of those people. So,
yeah,
she's going to be missed for sure.
All right, let's look at a few. Oh, let's go back in time. Let's do some history today, then we'll get back to some more stories that are going on in our neck of the woods and see what's happening today. Who remembers this old boy? It was 1934, and he would be the connection to a legend that we lost. As a young kid, he got to be the grunt man. I'll call it that, or maybe the word is roadie. Anybody ever heard that term? He toted his bags, anything he needed. If he needed his guitar set here, he did it. And he did it for Hank Williams, and he would later become one of the biggest influences and the manager of Hank Williams Jr., Merle Kilgore. Of course, he was the man that wrote Ring of Fire for Johnny Cash. Interesting there.
Song.
He passed away in 2005, and of course, he's the one that had the premonition there about Johnny Horton and the death and all of that good stuff. Merle Kilgore was a legend. I spoke to him once or twice in my life. Liked Merle a whole lot. If he, the things that he knew of traveling with that drifting cowboy band, serious stuff there. Let's see some other things that went on. 1943. Who remembers? Please, Mr. Postman.
I remember the song. I just didn't know who sung it.
The Marvelettes, Miss Wanda Young, the lead singer for them. 1943 was born on this date. What a great song that was.
That was. Look at the style
What was it?
back then.
Wait a minute, Mr. How did it go? You know it, don't you?
Yeah, but you throw it on me, I have to think for a minute. Goodness,
We're trying to let Candace think a little bit there.
Yeah, let me think.
1963, this girl would become a legend. She had such a beautiful voice, and such a shame that drugs can lead to the demise of someone who was so talented. Her voice was just golden. What an actress she was. On this date, 1963, Whitney Houston was born.
I always thought she was so beautiful.
She
too.
was.
Yes.
Her and Kevin Costner with that sword.
He was the bodyguard.
He was. 1969, America, this is probably the first time that America had seen anything quite like this. It was horrifying, and he would spend the rest of his days in prison for what he done. Old boy that went to California, had a bunch of followers. He just had that touch that people wanted to listen to whatever he said, and he convinced a lot of ladies to do things they shouldn't have. And it was on this date, that 69, that Sharon Tate was murdered. Charles Manson and his team killed her for no reason at all. Tragedy. And if you go back and look at the pictures of her, she was such a beautiful woman.
She was pretty.
My opinion, he should have never sat in a jail that long. Just not right.
I just think that's a lot of tax dollars wasted when they do that. But
1973, if you go back and listen to this, as he added interest to the truck that he had bought in 1973, it cost him around $3,000 and something. That would be like a lug nut these days. But who remembers the number one song on this date from 73? Lord, Mr. Ford, what have you done? A cute
who
song.
didn't have one of those cat trucker hats?
Oh, everybody
back
had a
then?
ball cap. 1974, it all happened yesterday as Richard Nixon got on Marine One and floated away. And, well, on this date, Gerald Ford became president. He would never get to come back again. Well, America didn't want him in there. They didn't vote him back. Gerald Ford. You can't say that he was a wonderful president. I've never heard anybody go, oh, boy, let's think back to the Ford days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just being born that year, so I didn't really
History,
know
my
much
young
about it.
lady, history.
I mean, I have seen in history what went on, but yeah.
Then we all got the Betty Ford Clinic out of that. I guess would be the biggest thing that happened out of his presidency.
Yeah.
Got an issue, going down to Betty Ford and hang out with her. 1975, Barnaby would be on TV, or I guess you could call him Jed, as he made the cover of TV Guide in 1975. Buddy Epson, one of my favorite things. He just seemed like the guy that you like to sit down and have a conversation with, that he had wisdom.
Yeah. And I think he was on Andy Griffith, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
once.
yeah.
Yeah.
Every now and then you will bump in and get an episode of Andy that you've never seen and go, why didn't I know that?
There were so many different stars on there. Have you ever just sat down and watched all the episodes?
Sheriff Roscoe Coltrane.
He was on there.
You know, I got a
The
text.
professor was on there.
Marianne.
And also the skipper was on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them.
And of course, Barbara Eden. She was one of the many, many celebrities
Yeah,
that do
she
this.
was.
But I got a text the other day, and I didn't know this, up at Ole Miss. 78 that the Dukes of Hazzard came out. Was that it? 78, 77?
I'm not sure.
They had
the year
a
of it.
professor that was teaching acting up there. taught a class. I don't know the exact name of the class, but you know who that professor was?
Who?
Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane
Really?
was employed at Ole Miss when he got the character and left and went on to Hollywood. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
So that was like, I was
That's
like,
neat
wow.
to know. Goodness.
But I'd have to go back and read what it was. It said that the exact, but it has something to do with drama or something like that he was teaching. Man's got to eat, y'all.
Yeah. That's good, though, to know. I did not know that.
Woo. I'll have some pictures here in a moment to, I just got in more pictures of the accident out on Highway 80. And, yeah, they got an issue there with the truck there. I don't think they're going to be able to use the trailer again. That's what we got. Night, what you got? Did you have something else?
No, I was just reading some of the comments. I did not know that Denise Burnside said that Sharon Tate was expecting a child at the time when she was murdered. I did not know that.
Wanda said Otis needed to go to the Betty Ford Clinic.
Yeah. He was married, and I didn't realize that until I saw an episode not long ago where he had a wife at home, and I guess he was a businessman during the day, and he just got tanked before nighttime, and he'd go spend the night in there. So,
well, what a great guy.
Yeah.
Margie said she had a dog named Roscoe P. Coltrane. Denise said that Buddy Epson was Audrey Hepburn's character's husband in Breakfast at Tiffany's. I didn't know that.
Huh.
Anita says, of course, you can always find him there on MeTV. What a great channel to watch that. Somebody said that Ford was best known for his clumsiness. He did. He tripped several times getting on Air Force One.
Oh, well, he and Biden would have got along really good.
Yeah. And Bill tells us it was 1979 that we first sat down in front of the television and watched Bo and Luke jump that first hill with Roscoe behind them.
Oh, okay.
Loved it. 1975. This was not my kind of music, but I did hear it. I often went to Kmart back in the day when they had the blue light specials and they had music in the background, and you would occasionally hear this. Who remembers Jive Talking?
I remember that song.
The Bee Gees.
The Bee Gees were big time back in the day. Yeah, I remembered watching them all the time.
But, and I'm being honest on this, had I heard that song, I would have never known that it was a group of men because they were so high-pitched. I always thought they were ladies until I saw the album cover. That's just me thinking. Now, y'all may have thought different.
Am I wrong, or did they have a show of their own back, like, years ago?
Never heard of that.
I could have swore they did, because we watched them often. I don't know if it's just reruns or if they were just on.
They did have a
shows we
soundtrack to
watched.
Saturday Night Fever with
I don't know.
John Travolta.
I could have swore they had their own little show, but maybe not.
1980, we would see John Travolta again. Why? It went number one on this date and would remain there almost forever. It was just like the perfect country CD or album back in the day. It went number one. Urban Cowboy, the soundtrack. Charlie Daniels, anybody was on that, even including the Silver Bullet Band. That was an album. And of course, this pose right here was it for the cowboy look when it come to all that happened. John Travolta there in Urban Cowboy. It was 1985. I remember this like it was yesterday. I was 10th grade, I believe, and Alabama rolled out with a new song, and that music of the piano when the song started. Who remembers "You Can't Keep a Good Man Down"? They released it on this date, and it would hit radio and then become number one. It was their 20th something number one in a row.
It was a good, not movie, excuse me, song.
Yeah,
I used to love Alabama, though, all their songs.
They're still out there, minus one.
Yeah.
Whoop, somebody didn't get back the money and they got chunked out the band. We'll leave it at that. 1986, the sisters, and as we learned, tragedy would strike. And 2022 with this, mother-daughter had the number one song today with Rockin' with the Rhythm of the Rain.
I remember that song, too. I remember singing that song going down the road in the car.
You know, another group that I don't know where they went, the Forrester Sisters. Do y'all remember that?
What did they sing? Because I'm awful with names.
Mama's
of
Never
artists.
Looked at Those Eyes. Mama's Never Seen.
Yeah.
They had a string of hits there. There's a little family there. And then winding down what happened on this date, we have to go back to a guy who had never had a number one. And it shocked so many people that he'd never had a number one up until he teamed up with another guy named Alan Jackson, and they would release a duet today called It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere. It actually went number one on this date. But Jimmy Buffett, Brown Eyed Girl, all that made it to like number two and never bumped the number one slot till he teamed up with that.
Great song.
Denise said that the brother hosted Solid Gold.
Okay. I knew it was something.
They didn't like speak Southern language. Were they from another country?
Yeah, they were. Weren't they British? I'm not sure. I think they were.
Possibly.
They were not from America.
Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Rachel Garrison's telling us she just loved her some Bee Gees. She was all about it. That's my sweetheart. She's such a sweet lady there. Solid Gold. Huh.
There was some good music in the 80s. I know he said, if you think about it, there was a lot of good stuff. Scott
I
did
agree with
in
that.
85. The 80s music was the best. I like to turn that on.
That would give us a lot of great music from there.
That's right. Australian. They were Australian, is what somebody says.
Just getting message here. I wanted to update everybody as it comes in live to us this morning. The incident that happened at Delwood, the Jeep that was found, no one was in the Jeep. Good news on that, which
Great.
means just someone left the scene of an accident.
Okay.
That is good. It was empty. No one hurt. Well, they could have been hurt. We don't know that. But they were not in the water.
Right. Thank goodness.
Clarify myself there. So good news on all the way around on that. A start to a good morning.
Yes.
For no one being seriously hurt.
That's scary to come up on something like that.
Oh, it is. Let's take a minute and talk about our friends over at Godwin. What are they doing today? Well, they're cleaning their power washers. Why? They got several places to go to clean, like hospitals, make it look new again. They're going to be camped out at somebody's house here, probably taking care of some vinyl siding, making it look good. Or maybe it's a sidewalk they're doing. They can fit you in. They can get you on a schedule by calling 601-253-8262. From a simple roof cleaning, and sometimes a simple thing just makes the biggest difference in the whole wide world.
That's right. It looks brand new.
Does. Very cost-saving, makes driveways look this way. You don't have to repaint your house. Makes it look fresh. Windows, too. They do all of this in decks and so much more. They can make your place look good. A lot of times it takes less than 2 hours for them to come do this. Timely, inexpensive. Restore the look of your house. Talk to them today. From a billboard to a scoreboard, they've got it. Godwin Cleaning Services. 601-253-8262. Drop in and visit with them today.
Health Now is your locally owned medical equipment store. Every person's need is a little different, and they offer a little bit of everything from hospital beds, wheelchairs, reclining back wheelchairs, breathing treatments, CPAPs and supplies. They even have walkers, bath products, and oxygen. And the great thing about Health Now is they offer same-day service. They're open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and on call 24/7. Health Now Medical Equipment, where we treat our patients like family.
If you're getting ready to purchase land, make sure you have it surveyed. Contact our friends at the Woodlands Group. Maybe you're selling land, dividing land up. Whatever the case is, the Woodlands Group can help you there. They handle residential and commercial clients. And again, they specialize in property line location, site plans, and a whole lot more. Maybe you have a construction project, and they have the latest equipment to make sure it's done right, including drones. Call Justin Palmer or Brandon Briggs at the Woodlands Group, Surveying Solutions. We're going to get Candace bring snacks tomorrow.
Oh, look, I will bring some. Yesterday I was making strawberry jalapeno jam. You ever had pepper jelly?
Have
y'all ever had pepper jelly?
Candace, that don't even sound good.
It is good, though. One of my clients brought me a jar of strawberry jalapeno pepper jelly, but I guess it's like jam. Because it has the little bits of strawberries in it. It was so good. Over cream cheese with crackers.
Cream cheese. I don't like cream cheese, number one. Ooh,
if you tried this, you'd probably like it, though. No, not just cream cheese by itself. I don't like that. But this, you pour it over the top of a block of cream cheese and get some, like, little wheat thins or something and eat with it. It's very good.
I'm picky.
Yeah. But that's what I was making last night because one of my customers brought me a big thing of jalapeno peppers, and so I made strawberry jalapeno.
I ain't into peppers because you know why? They're hot.
Yeah.
I even have that problem. And y'all sit down at a table with somebody at a restaurant and they take pepper and they put it on their food, and I go to sneezing because it comes across the table and it attacks me.
It will make you sneeze.
All right. Anita's saying what you're talking about is awesome. LaWanda says awesome. It is too.
You've got, and I've had pepper jelly, but I've never had strawberry jalapeno pepper jelly until then, and it was so good. So hopefully mine turns out okay. I don't know. I've not made it before. So
the next thing that is rocking America this morning is the raid on a president's home. Donald Trump's home was raided by the FBI. If you have not heard this, yesterday. Now, he was actually in New York. At first, I didn't catch on to that he was in New York, but they did. They bumped right on into Florida without warning. they have not officially told us why they did it. It is speculation dating back to the 15 boxes that the National Archive says is theirs, and he just hadn't returned yet.
Does it not seem like they're grasping at straws to keep him from running? I mean, like, it's anything to keep him.
Yeah, I'd suggest Donald break out with Alabama and Can't Keep a Good Man Down and let that be part of his next arena play.
That would be a song.
It would be.
For him.
This is all suspicious. You can't say it enough of this. And as we dig into all of this, possibly, I don't know that this is true. This is just a headline that I'm reading that comes that says Trump would be banned from holding a public office if he was found guilty of mishandling classified White House records. So does anyone think that that might have something to do with it?
I mean, I'm sure they're trying to make it seem like that. But what I would be concerned about, though, is being the way that things have been conducted this far, thus far, whatever you want to say.
Thus this.
Right. I think that I would be concerned that it wouldn't be handled really good. Like if they just took the stuff, they did not go through the boxes like they were supposed to.
No, they didn't. They exited with them.
Right. So they just took the boxes and went. So nobody really knew what was in the boxes, other than Donald Trump. And I mean, what if some crooked person was trying to not be on the up and up and put something that was not,
You think somebody could be not honest that works for the government?
Possibly. You never know. I mean, but I would hate to say that, but
this comes after somebody deleted 33,000 emails. We have somebody else's son that there's video, there's evidence, there's a computer that shows them smoking dope, smoking crack up in the White House. And we all know that there's more on that computer that ties the big man. It just I kind of feel like this is just like people have talked about in the past. It's a diversion away from what's going on over here. It probably is
that, and they're trying to just pin anything on him to keep him from running again.
And I would say this even if this was a Democrat, because again, this is a former president, and there's ways for this to be handled.
Yeah.
They could have served a piece of paper that says, hey, you got to turn it over. You've got 30 days to return this or we're coming. It could have been handled so differently. And it doesn't matter whether you're Republican or if this was Gerald Ford that they were doing this to, or Jimmy Carter. Or,
anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody. If you're going to do something like that, then you better do it across the board. I mean, it shouldn't be a double standard in any kind of way.
And could this backfire on those that were trying to keep him down to where is it going to make supporters that much stronger for him? They've already had a crowd reported in Florida standing outside in support.
I think it is. I think, like we've talked about with the crime and stuff, I think people, just in situations like this, people are sick and tired of this. They're sick and tired of this country being ran into the ground. They're tired of people having double standards. They can be caught almost red-handed and nothing's done to them. I mean, they don't even get like a slap on the wrist. It's just kind of like it just gets pushed under the rug and, they don't want to deal with it. But this man they started before when he was running for president. They tried with the Russia collusion thing, all that mess, Hillary Clinton,
List just goes on and on and on.
I mean, if you just think about a timeline, sit down and think about it. I know we hear in the news this and that all the time, but think about how things have gone so far. From before Trump was, out of office, when Biden went in, how the pipeline, the first thing he did is got rid of it. Then, we were dealing with the virus anyway. So we're dealing with a major issue. So let's shut down one of the main moneymakers for our country, and people lose jobs. People are sent home. There's lockdowns. I mean, it's just...
I don't care who you are. You can't deny that gas and food and everything else is higher than it once was.
Right.
That's
and in the
the whole
meantime,
point.
China's buying up land for years now in our country. Put two and two together.
That's what's happening. That's the headlines this morning coming out of Florida. As more of this comes out, and trust me, there'll be more. We'll pass it along to you there. Yeah. I want to quickly mention this one here. As America sees things changing, an elderly lady in Washington State who has gone to the YMCA swimming pool just about every day for her exercise, went and complained because there was a transgender person in the little girls' locker room watching the young girls change clothes. She's been banned from coming back to the YMCA. America, y'all. More up and coming with Scotty Ray and Candace as we carry you through this Tuesday morning. The fastest hour on the internet or even on your television. However you're watching us, we certainly appreciate you joining in and being a part of it this morning with us. Spring is here, and it's time to quit spending all of your weekend cutting grass when you could step up to a Skag zero-turn mower. Freeman Tractor in Collinsville has the #1 rated zero-turn mower, Skag, with cutting widths from 36 inches to 72 inches. Skag, the #1 choice of professional landscapers because they know nothing outcuts or outlasts a Skag. 0% financing for 48 months with payments starting as low as $129 a month. Stop by Freeman Tractor on Highway 494 and see coleslaw or buttermilk.
H&H Residential of Meridian is your #1 carpet and flooring store. If you've been thinking of a new look for your home or office, call for a free estimate or consultation. H&H can install or you can do it yourself. H&H has all of your design needs from color, style, and texture. If you can dream it, H&H can make it a reality. Come see the large selection of hardwood flooring, laminate, vinyl, and even carpet. H&H Residential of Meridian, open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4, 321 Hawkins Crossing Road. Call Rosemary anytime, 601-462-9541.
Join Mike Rice Auctions and Wholesales every Tuesday night for a live auction, and you can bid from the comfort of your own home. Each week, Mike has a whole selection of auction items. Maybe you're a business that needs a liquidation sale. Or maybe you're in charge of an estate and don't know what to do with all you got. Talk to Mike Rice Auctions about an estate sale. Let Mike turn these items into cash for you. Your next deal is waiting for you at Mike Rice Auctions and Wholesale this Tuesday night, live on Facebook at 6:30. Welcome back with Scotty Ray and Candace as we ever near the top of the hour here as we see that a search in California for a 16-year-old girl that was abducted from a high school party at a campground. How sad it is. There's things that go on across the nation that we don't know, but we pray for this family that their child is returned to them.
Yes, we do, because I can't even imagine.
No.
Just that not knowing.
We're also going to stay on top of everything as we had the recap of no one found in the wreck that is out at Dalewood. Thank heavens on that. We do have the accident. We'll be loading some more pictures at Highway 80 of the 18-wheeler that struck the bridge. All of that's coming up this morning. And don't forget, traffic backed up I-20 east of here toward Alabama. Traffic being diverted at York, Alabama toward Livingston because of an accident that happened there.
Yes.
So what do you got going on today?
Just work.
Going back to make pepper jelly and make people sneeze?
No, I'm done with the pepper jelly. I had 8 jars. I'm done with it. So.
It's kind of like Aunt Bee's pickles. Nobody wants to touch it.
Yeah, I'm going to do hair today. So, yes. But I hope everybody has a wonderful day.
Yeah.
What have you got planned?
I'm going to be here watching what goes on in our city and pass along any information.
That's right.
Join us at the Scotty Ray Report. We'll be here to let you know. Again, we're going to let you go back to your normal life now.
Yes. We'll quit bothering you. See you back at 8 a.m. in the morning. Y'all be here.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: